41 and done. On January 26, 2020, it was reported that legendary basketball star and global icon Kobe Bryant had tragically died in a helicopter crash at the tender age of 41. It was later reported that his 13-year-old daughter, Gianna Bryant, also known as Gigi, was also on board and suffered the same fate, along with 7 other people. So Kobe was born in 1978 and he died 2020. Kobe Bean Bryant was arguably one of the best players to ever play the game of basketball, and his unexpected and tragic death rocked the world. He dazzled fans with his incredible talent and inspired many people through his actions on and off the court. But was it all a facade? In regards to Kobe, I truly respected him as an athlete, as a person, as an icon. I went to watch him a few times at the Staples Center, play for the Lakers. He had a big personality, incredible talent. But the more I've looked into his career and connected a lot of numbers, the more I believe that his whole career was planned out, scripted, predetermined. And it's not just Kobe, same with Michael Jordan, LeBron. And I believe sports like the NBA are rigged, predetermined, no different to WWE. The championship winner is decided before the season begins. This means all the players, the coaches, the officials, the commentators, they're all involved in it. And it's about time we reveal that and stop getting played along by an illusion. It's no different to ancient Rome, the Roman Empire, where they had the bread and circus. They'd put them in the Colosseum. They would distract them from what was really going on in the world. And that's what's going on here. We focus so much on sports. We focus so much attention to these celebrities. And we need to stop doing that because they're all a distraction. But let me keep going. By the end of this, you can decide if it's all a facade or if you believe Kobe was the incredible icon that the media portray him to be. I've discovered some extremely interesting facts about Kobe by using gematria in regards to when he was drafted, his highest scoring game, his last ever game in the NBA, the age he died, his connection with LeBron James, and many more. And what I discovered is shocking. I have come to the conclusion that the Kobe Bryant many knew, respected, and loved was quite possibly nothing more than a paid puppet who had his whole career scripted and planned out from the moment he entered the NBA. Incredible basketball player, even better actor. What is gematria though? How am I connecting his death, his relationship with LeBron James, his draft pick date, his highest scoring game with numbers? How am I doing that? Well, I'm using gematria. Gematria is an alphanumeric code of assigning a numerical value to a name, word, or phrase based on its letters. The Jewish system was developed by practitioners of Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism, and many people are learning about the numerological equivalence of words. It's incredibly important we start learning about the power of numbers, and you'll find out at the end of the video why. This knowledge allows people to connect dots and even possibly explain past events and predict future ones. There are 4 main ciphers that are used in which yield multiple values. The 4 main ciphers are the following. English ordinal. This is a typical 26-letter alphabet where each letter is the same value as the letter in the alphabet. So A is the first letter, equals 1. B is the second letter, 2, all the way up to Z or Z, which equals 26. English reduction is a little bit different, slightly more complicated. So A to I are single digits. A is 1, I is 9. Interesting that it's AI. And there's all this talk about artificial intelligence taking over the world and all that. So you've got A to I, as I'll show you here. A is 1, then 9 is I. When you get to J, you just do 1 plus 0. You get to L, 1 plus 2 is 3. K though, K and S are slightly different because they're supposedly magical numbers. So with K, you can have different values. You can go into double figures. You can have 11 and 2, and S, 10 and 1. And then letters Jay-Z. Ring a bell, anybody? Jay-Z, guy who's always, who's Rockefeller. His record label's Rockefeller, looking to the Rockefellers, and he's always doing the the triangle all the time, which is the Illuminati sign. So J to Z, as I said, you reduce it to single digits other than those two letters. English reverse is the opposite to English ordinal. So you work your way backwards. So Z equals 1, A equals 26, Y will be 2, X will be 3, etc. And then English reverse reduction is simply the rules of numerology where the letter has a digital root. It starts here, Z equals 1, and then Y will be 2, X will be 3, and it goes down to R9, then it repeats. So from Q we start at 1, and then we work our way down to I, which is 9, and then we've got those final letters where H is 1A, has a total value of 8. So the very basis of the Kabbalistic cosmological system rests on the belief that God created the universe through the power of the Hebrew letters, along with their numerical values. So in essence, gematria to them is their religion. When I say them, I'm talking about the people who run the world, the people who run the financial system, the banking system, sports, media, government, politics, who manage to allow this system to be corrupt so they can benefit from it. I'm not going to pick out people's names. You can look into that yourself. But they basically run sports. And then we watch those sports on the TV channels in which they own. And it's all a show. It's all a script that they write, and the players are the actors. So let's look at gematria for Kobe Bryant and discuss how the numbers connect with his career and death. So we'll look into the 4 ciphers. I'm going to focus on these 3. So you've got English ordinal 113. It's an important number in regards to Kobe. Full reduction 41. Reverse ordinal 157, and reverse full reduction is 58. But we're going to focus on these 3 as well as a few other numbers that connect with Kobe. So English ordinal. When you add up all the letter values of the name Kobe Bryant, it equals 113. So if you see here, K equals 11, O equals 15, etc., it comes up to 113. Interestingly, in 1996, Kobe was the 13th draft picked in round 1. So in round 1, he was the 13th pick, 113. Kobe made his NBA debut on November the 3rd, 1996. So November's the 11th month of the year, on the 3rd, 113. His final game in the NBA was against the Utah Jazz, who are the only team in the NBA that have an English ordinal value of 113. His final game. 2015, Bryant had written a poem titled Dear Basketball after he announced his retirement from the game, which was eventually turned into an Oscar-winning animated short film in 2018. And guess what the title of that poem also adds up to? 113. He did not write this. It was written for him. It's all an illusion, winning an Oscar. Well, it doesn't shock me he wins an Oscar because he was an incredible actor, like LeBron James, Michael Jordan, the majority of the NBA players, NFL players, Major League Basketball, actors who are incredible athletes as well at the same time. His daughter died at the age of 13 in the first month of the year because they died January the 26th. Then there's the fact that NBA legend and global icon Michael Jordan is also a 113 in regards to English ordinal. And he was a player Kobe was constantly compared to throughout his career and still is to this day. Full reduction 41. We'll focus on this now. This is really important. Kobe Bryant died at the age of 41. His name in full reduction is 41. His last basketball game, as I mentioned, against the Utah Jazz, he dropped 60 points in a 101-96 win. That means the rest of the team scored 41 points in that game. His last shot in the NBA was over number 41, Trey Lyles of the Utah Jazz, and he was taken out of the game for some reason with 4.1 seconds on the clock. It's just a ritual script. In his highest scoring game, where he got 81 points, the rest of his team dropped 41 points. So they got 122 points in that game. He retired 41 years after his dad got drafted by the Golden State Warriors because his dad was also a professional basketball player. He died 41 days before his ex-LA Lakers teammate and close friend Shaquille O'Neal's birthday. So Shaquille O'Neal, they won multiple NBA championships together. They were the iconic duo during that time. His helicopter took off at 9:06 and crashed at 9:47, 41 minutes later, as it's reported. The helicopter pilot, Ara Zaboyan, also died during the crash, has a full reduction of 41, which is the same as Kobe. What are the odds? The odds are astronomical for that to happen. There's 9 people on that flight, and the pilot and Kobe both had the same full reduction of 41. The Lakers won all their playoff series 4-1 prior to winning the finals, which they won 4-2. But stay tuned as to why that likely happened. I personally believe they were going to take it 4-1 like all the other playoff games. And Kobe dying at 41 and all the connections with 41 that I'm mentioning here. But I think Vegas were going to lose too much money as well on that. So they pulled out the other script. Just like movies have different endings, they pulled out script 2, 4-2. Lakers were 40-28 all-time versus the Heat, and they made it 41 wins against them in Game 6. So the most recent game they had that won the championship was their 41st win against the Miami Heat. Look at all that information about 41. Reverse ordinal, 157. Not as much information, but still pretty significant. So the 2020 NBA All-Star Game was dedicated to Kobe Bryant, as expected, and was the first ever played with a target score, which was set at 157. Really? Never been a target score before. Then they choose 157, which is a reverse ordinal of Kobe Bryant. As I mentioned, 157 is a reverse ordinal of his name, Kobe Bryant. Lakers Stadium, where he spent his whole career, is 157 in regards to his English ordinal. Interestingly, Kobe died the day of the Grammys, which took place at the Staples Center. So on the day he died, there's a major awards show taking place at the stadium he spent his whole career in LA. And the show was hosted by Alicia Keys, whose full reduction is also 41, the same as Kobe. She gave a fitting tribute to him. The whole show pretty much was dedicated to him. Ritual, in my opinion, not a coincidence. Kobe Bryant's dad, his nickname was Jelly Bean, Joe Jelly Bean Bryant, and that has a reverse ordinal of 157. So even a connection there with his dad, as I mentioned, another one as well previously. Kobe's connection with the number 6. So Kobe was 6'6". It's reported he was 6'6". When he scored that record high 81 points, by the way, Kobe Bean Bryant equals 81 in reverse full reduction, in 2006, he did that on his 666th career game, and he scored 66% of the team's points. Just outrageous. What a script. How rigged is this? It's unbelievable. The year was 2006, which contains the date June 6, 2006, which is 666. Furthermore, if you do 6 times 6 times 6 plus 10, which is the number of letters in his name, so Kobe Bryant has 6 letters, it equals 226. You can do the math for yourself. Scored the game where he got 81 points against the Raptors, was 122-104. Combine those numbers, what do you get? 226. Outrageous. That's the only difference between the outcome of the game was Kobe Bean Bryant getting 55 points in the second half. That wasn't down to Kobe. That was a script allowing him to get 55 points. He was a difference maker. Lakers win. Let's take a step further and look into the connection with number 6 and Kobe. He had an off-season workout, and it was known as the 666 program. Supposedly, he spent 2 hours running, 2 hours on basketball, and 2 hours weightlifting for a total of 6 hours a day, 6 times a week for 6 months. I'm not having that. This is just a way of getting 666 in the public eye and just basically spreading that number. It's absolute nonsense. It's a disgrace. So again, you've got the connection with Kobe and number 6. This bit's really interesting for me, the connections between Kobe and LeBron James. So now it's time to look into connections between Kobe and LeBron, or King James as they call him. He's clearly currently the best player in the NBA. There's no doubt about that. With his achievements, statistics, his versatility, the whole thing. His assist record is a phenomenal player in regards to statistics and championship wins. However, this guy, coincidentally, as you'll probably think, for me, interestingly, he overtook Kobe to become the 3rd highest scoring NBA player of all time. He did that a night before Kobe died, the day before. And he also achieved that in Philadelphia, where Kobe was born. For some reason, LeBron James had stitched into his sneakers Mamba for life the day before Kobe died. And as I've mentioned, it was played in Philadelphia when he broke that record and overtook Kobe. And it was against the Philadelphia 76ers. Kobe's age 41, LeBron's age 35. You combine those numbers, you get 76. What a ritual again. It's just so scripted. Unbelievable storytellers. Don't be shocked to see the Lakers three-peat. I think they've just won a championship with LeBron. I think they're going to win the next two. They'll do 3 in a row, just like he did, just like Michael Jordan did. This is what I'm talking about, connecting the dots, predicting the future. So 6-6 record, I think he's going to have from that. He's going to win 6 championships, and he'll lose 6. He's currently on 4-6. He's not going to lose another one. LeBron also was the first player to get to 6 straight. Let's get that number 6 again. 6 straight NBA finals since Bill Russell, who played for the Boston Celtics, who got to his 6th straight in 1966. I personally couldn't help but laugh when I saw LeBron hit the Lakers' 81st point. Remember, Kobe's highest scoring game was 81 points in Game 2 of this year's NBA Finals. When they stopped the clock after that shot, it was an 8-24. Kobe's numbers in the NBA, he began with the number 8, he ended with 24. And he hits the 81st point when the clock stops at 8:24. Now, LeBron passes Kobe. Okay. Yes, he does the night before he dies, interestingly. This is staggering. And if you think this is a coincidence, then I give up. Kobe in 2009, he finished 2nd in the MVP voting, most valuable player voting. He entered the playoff as the number 1 seed in the West, the LA Lakers. They beat the Houston Rockets in the 2nd round. They beat the Denver Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals. And he got his 4th ring on Orlando, Kobe. Let's compare that with LeBron in 2020. Finished 2nd in MVP voting behind, I forgot his name, but he plays for the Milwaukee Bucks, who were the big favorites to win the NBA. But again, that's probably so Vegas can take money. They entered the playoffs as the number 1 seed in the West. They beat the Houston Rockets in the 2nd round, 4-1. They beat the Denver Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals, 4-1. And he won his 4th ring in Orlando because he put all the games in the bubble. Disneyland Orlando. Exact same thing going on here. And LeBron won his 4th ring in 6 games because he finished 4-2. You do 4 times 6, it equals 24, which was Kobe's number. If you think that's a coincidence, then, like I said, I completely give up. A couple of photos here for you. Utah Jazz with the English ordinal 113. Michael Jordan 113. These are the same as Kobe. Remember, Utah was the last game he played against. Michael Jordan, the guy he's constantly compared with. Ara Zaboyan was the pilot who died in the helicopter crash. 41 full reduction, same as Kobe. Dear Basketball has both of them that he won an Oscar for. The poem that got turned into an animated movie, 11341. Come on, what an absolute farce. What a joke. Alicia Keys, full reduction 41, same as Kobe. Hosting the Grammys, as I mentioned, the day he dies at the Staples Center. Interestingly or coincidentally, his death was predicted in a cartoon named Legend of Chamberlain Heights. You can watch this on YouTube. It's in a helicopter, purple and yellow, same as Lakers. He crashes, and then the helicopter blows up. He's got his NBA championships with him. And then this one's, I don't know what's even more of a joke, this one, the predictive programming, or this, the fact that in 2017, RoboJam Toys released a toy remote control Kobe helicopter. So make of that as you wish. I guess it's just random. People will say, oh, well, Kobe had a helicopter, so it makes sense. Yeah, okay, sure. Riddles behind LA Lakers taking the championship 4-2. I thought they were going to take it 4-1 for all the reasons I mentioned earlier with the number 41. However, this actually makes a lot of sense. This was probably the second script. Game 6 was National Father Daughter Day. Possible Kobe and Gigi tribute or ridicule, I'm not sure yet. I'll probably never know. It also reminds me of when Jordan won an NBA championship on Father's Day, right after his dad was murdered. So, scripted. Father Dollar Day equals 172 English ordinal, and the reverse ordinal is 287. LeBron picked up his 172nd playoff win in that Game 6 where they won the championship on the 287th day of his age. Come on. Date of the game was 10, 11, 20. You add those numbers together, it gets you 41. I've already discussed the connection with 41. LA equals 41. It's the reverse ordinal. From Kobe's death on the 37th anniversary of Bear Bryant to the game is 37 weeks later, Sunday to Sunday. Kobe and Gianna also died on a Sunday. Game 6 was on a Sunday. Kobe Bryant's first ever preseason game was 24 years ago, so that's his the future number that he was going to get. And it was also 24 years to the day that the Lakers won their 17th championship to equal the Boston Celtics for the most in the history of basketball. In this preseason game, he didn't actually play, but he was on the bench and he was all kitted up. 81 days left of the year when they won it. Ritual equals 81 in gematria. Kobe being Bryant, his full name equals 81. Kobe's highest scoring game was 81 points. LeBron signed for the Lakers exactly 81 weeks before Kobe's death. In Game 2 of the finals, as I've mentioned, he scored the Lakers' 81st point with 8:24 left. Kobe's jersey numbers. Got all these connections with 81. If you believe this is coincidental, then have a word with yourself in all seriousness. Interesting fact, Lakers debuted the Black Mamba jerseys on January 26, 2018. 2 years to the day of Kobe Bryant's death. Bryant equals 26, died on the 26th. Too random to be a coincidence. They ended up 4-1 when wearing the jersey in the playoff games this year. 4-1, so you've got the 41. Also there. It will be exactly 41 weeks, Kobe's age, since LeBron's 35th birthday. Or should I change this to was? Game 6 was LA's 41st all-time win over the Miami Heat. Again, so in this, they're connecting Kobe and LeBron within this game. LeBron James equals 42. They won 4-2, and Game 6 was the 42nd Sunday of the year. Dollar equals 42 in reverse full reduction. I'm talking about Father Dollar Day. Lakers equals 42, reverse full reduction. LeBron wore the number 6 jersey when he won titles with the Miami Heat. 4 + 2 = 6. And then he changed his number to 23. 2 × 3 = 6. He got the number 23, and they said, I'm sure they connected it with Michael Jordan, who also wore 23. Game 6 was the Lakers' 6,441st game in franchise history, playoffs and regular season included. 6441 is the 113th triangular number. You can check that for yourself. Kobe Bryant, I've already discussed his connection with 113. Finals were played at Disney World, and Walt Disney equals 42 in full reduction. Could see his name all over the courts. Game 6 was both the Lakers and Heat's 21st game of the playoffs. So that's 42 combined, and the series ended 4-2 to the Lakers. Wow. After the game starts, 199 points were scored in Game 6. It finished 106-93. 199 is the 46th prime, and LeBron's record goes to 4-6 in NBA championship appearances, winning 4, losing 6. Lakers won that game by 13 points. That's the age Gigi died, and it's also Kobe's draft pick. It was the 13th draft pick won in round 1. Additional info, Lakers won their 17th championship in LeBron's 17th NBA season. It's written in the stars. Probably heard that song. Kobe was drafted when he was 17 and died at the age of 41. 41 minus 17 equals 24. Kobe's jersey number. If you add up the dates of the years Kobe Bryant and Gianna Bryant were born and died, you will get the following number. This is crazy to me. So Kobe was born 1978, died 2020. Gianna was born 2006, died 2020. If you add all these numbers up together here, it equals 8,024. Kobe wore the number 8 and 24 jerseys during his NBA career. And if you add up each individual number, So if you do like 1 plus 9 plus 7 plus 8, etc., 2 plus 0, all of that, it equals 41. Okay. They also died on the 1st, 26th, 2020. You add those numbers up together, equals 13, same age Gianna died. And again, he was drafted number 13 in round 1. Kobe's daughter, Gianna, shares the exact same birth date with Mariah O'Neal, the daughter of Shaquille O'Neal, who I've already mentioned. Seriously, what are the chances? Yes, same age, maybe. Same birth date. These guys won all those NBA championships together, the iconic duo. I just don't get it. It's so scripted, but I don't know how they do it, why they do it. I don't know, have the exact answer, but it's just a disgrace. It is literally a movie. Couldn't script it any better. LA Lakers coach Frank Vogel got to his 47th playoff win at the age of 47, a span of 74 weeks after he was hired in his 74th NBA season. Not his, the 74th NBA season. So look at these 47s, 74s. 74s backwards is 47. Like, it's just a disgrace. So scripted. It was the 154th playoff series of all time for the Lakers. King James equals 154. This is a ritual. And LeBron signed a four-year, $154 million contract with the Lakers. 154. These numbers are not random. They're not random. And as I've said, I believe LeBron will end his career 6-6, and that the Lakers will three-peat, just as Michael Jordan did with the Bulls and Kobe did with the Lakers. Is all the information I put together coincidental, or are we all being played? I will let you decide.